carvings upon the great stone wall at Shikra tell of a time beyond memory, a time of world-shattering war, when the brave and the desperate rose up against the three masters of evil. They were Morgul, Lord of Beasts, who sent savage armies over the land. Necros, Master of War, who incited all man to rage eternal. And Olger, the Overlord, who blackened the world with his foul magic. Men and elves, dwarves and beasts, all inhabitants of the world were locked in hopeless, fevered battle against a black fate. Raging like a great fire, insanity swept across the land with the ferocity unmatched in all history. But when at last the smoke had cleared, the masters of evil had suffered a crushing defeat. Humiliated, they retreated to a place outside of time, and a black seal was crafted to prevent their return. Of all who fought, only 3 returned to tell the story: a dwarf, an elf, and a human. Though their names were lost in the mists of time, their labor stands yet today, for the black seal holds fast, protecting mankind from certain destruction at the hand of the Overlord.
You want my head? Oh, help yourself!
least I managed to get his head. It has to be worth something. Oh, I wonder if I'm even cut out to be a bounty hunter at all. But if I don't get some cash soon, I'm gonna be in big trouble. There's gotta be another bounty I can go after. My luck's gotta change soon. Wow, a city. Maybe I can sell Nut's head down there. Trader Jake's, new, used, and everything in between.
Well, look what the cat dragged in, would you? No, it's no use, bounty girl. Many others have tried, and all have failed. Mucked my armpits and bad ends.
Heads? Who said anything about heads? Hey, mister, tell me, where's the action in this town? I'm looking for a big bounty, and I only take the best jobs.
You might be in luck. A new poster just went up on the town's bounty board. A renegade magician turning some bad tricks. Got an uncommon big reward on him.
Great! Thanks for the tip! Move it! Coming through! Step aside! For the capture of the notorious magician Muttonhead, a reward is offered in the sum of 2 million gold. Woohoo! This is my lucky day! I'm gonna be rich! What was that? It sounded like...
Hey! Are you blind or something? Up in the tree, you dunderhead!
Huh? Oh! What in the world are you doing up there?
Well, there were all these monsters chasing me. There must have been 100 of them, and they had bulging eyes and huge teeth, and then they chased me up this tree, and then the spider dropped down. He almost killed me, but I cut his thread. I have a pocket knife, you know, and then, well, I don't think it's safe to come down. Oh, by the way, I'm Slick. Well, actually, Slick Jr. the Third, but you can call me Slick. I'm from the village at the bottom of the jungle. Say, can you give me some help here? Like, today?
Well, Slick, why'd you leave your village in the first place?
Hey, I was just looking for a little fun and adventure, but I guess my pocket knife just doesn't cut it out here. Say, why don't you take me with you? I bet you have lots of adventures. Why else would you have such a huge sword?
Excuse me? I think you're confused. I'm a bounty hunter, not a babysitter, bub. You're on your own.
Come on, please. You just gotta take me with you. Hey, I'll even pay you, Miss...
Mail, Popful mail. So, you're gonna pay me to make a man out of you, huh? I'm a little too busy, and you sound like a lot of trouble. If I did consider taking you with me, it'd cost you like
2 million.
2 million? Are we talking gold here? Who do you think I am, Slicky Warbucks?
Can't afford me? Tough break, kiddo.
Listen, if you're not gonna take me with you, and by the way, I think that's a big mistake, could you please tell the villagers where I am? It's the least you can do.
Oh, all right. Whiner.
Another slick caper, eh? What has he done this time? Just the facts, man.
Well, let's see. Monsters chased him up a tree. Now the dumb kid's too scared to come down. And he's waiting for your help.
Sounds like a second story job. We'll take it from here, man.
Well, hi! What brings you here, stranger?
I'm Mail, Popful Mail. You see, I'm looking for a magician called Muttonhead. There's a bounty of 2 million gold on his head.
Oh, well, you're on the right path, because I saw that rotten gingerbread grifter gang pass this way. They're in league with Muttonhead, you know.
What? They were here and you let them get away? Where are they? Which way did they go?
Calm down, Mail. I'm after those crooks, too. By the way, I'm Namo. If you happen to find them, let me know, and I'll help you nab them.
Oh, sure. And let you get the reward? Nice try, Haystack.
Well, I'll tell you, Bounty Hunter, I'm very strong. Just keep me in mind, okay?
I've watched you slash your way up here. Most impressive, I must admit. Who are you?
I'm Mail, Popful Mail. Right now I'm after a dangerous magician called Muttonhead. There's a big reward for him.
Oh? Muttonhead used to be my teacher. He was once a kind and wonderful person. But then, all of a sudden, he turned evil. I'm looking for him to see if I can't find out what went wrong. Actually, I should say I was going after him, but the monster just ahead stopped me dead in my tracks. He's much too powerful for my simple scepter.
Don't worry, I'm sure I can take him. I've had a lot of practice lately. This shouldn't take long.
Okay. Well, be careful. Let me know when it's all clear, okay? Wow! You destroyed the Mad Bomber! Now I can get on with the search for my master.
Didn't I say he'd be a piece of cake? I don't kid around when it comes to a fight.
Well, as I said, your skills are quite impressive. By the way, I'm Tat, Apprentice Magician Extraordinaire. Hopefully we'll meet again soon.
Is someone out there? Please help me! The wizard's above are guarding the key to my cell. Can you get it?
Sorry. Can't get involved unless there's something in it for me.
What? Oh, okay. Listen, help me out of here and I'll make it worth your while.
Okay, now you're talking my language. How much?
Let me think. How about 200 gold?
200 gold? Yeah. I guess you don't want to be rescued too badly. I might consider it for, say, 700 gold or so.
700 gold? Man, I don't have that much. But if you'll consider 500 gold, we have a deal.
Fair enough. Consider yourself a free man.
Mail? It's you! And you got the key! Whoa, how in the world did you get past the wizards?
Doesn't matter. You're free, so fork over the 500 gold.
Geez, no time for pleasantries, huh? Follow me to the village and I'll pay you there.
I thought you had the cash on you. This better not be a trick.
No tricks. I just don't carry 400 gold on me.
Oh, no you don't! We agreed on 600!
600 gold? Are you insane? I know it was 500.
Okay, sissy boy. 500. Hand it over.
Like I said, at the village. I don't know how to thank you properly, Mail, but I'm sure this will help. Say, I heard that the Gingerbread Grifter Gang and Muttonhead are working together. Don't know if it's true, but it makes sense. That's the second time I've heard that. I'll stay here to defend my village. Hopefully you'll find Muttonhead and put a stop to his crazy shenanigans. The ladder to the right will lead you out of here. Good luck, Mail!
I just can't believe it! My wedding ring was stolen by the Badger Gang!
Badger Gang?
Yes, they're ruthless criminals with a hideout near here. Oh, I just don't know how I'm going to break this news to my husband! Oh!
Maybe you won't have to.
wood golem? Impossible!
What? It sounded like the voice was coming from here.
No matter. This is but a small crimp in my plan to...
Holy freaky creeps! I can't believe it!
It is. It's Muttonhead.
In the flesh, sweet cakes! I'm the most powerful wizard ever! I'm the scourge of the land!
I still can't believe it's you!
I am the great and powerful Muttonhead!
Cat said you were outrageous. Boy, he wasn't kidding.
Oh, so you know Tato, eh? Well, that student was a pain in my patootie from day one. Always so too soon. But I hear that he's cooling his heels in jail at the moment.
Which is precisely where you'll be after I haul you in. Ooh, I can hardly wait to collect that 2 mil for your ugly hide. Game's up, Muttonhead.
You capture me? You're a riot, kid! See you around!
Mail! It's you! Oh, I thought I was to be trapped here forever. Quick, pull that lever on your left. It opens the cell door.
You haven't seen Muttonhead lately, have you?
Quiet! We don't have time for that. Just pull the lever and let's get out of here.
I've got all the time in the world. So fess up. Have you seen him or not?
Mail! Let me out of here and I'll tell you what I know about my teacher's location. Fair enough?
Okay, but remember, you promised. Now then, Junior, where's Muttonhead?
I don't know for sure, but I think he's probably in his hideout in the wind cave. I'll take you there, but I have to warn you, it's really quite dangerous. That's it, Mail. The dreaded Wind Cave, one of the most dangerous places in the land. Just crawling with monsters.
Tat, I'm not afraid. It'll be a great test of my fighting skill.
We must be very cautious, Mail. Muttonhead is no ordinary magician.
I know he's hiding in there. I can feel it. And when I find him, he's all mine. Then I can collect that big fat reward. No time to lose. Let's go.
You still after me? Look, girlie, save yourself some trouble and go and play with your dollies instead. If you know what's good for you, you'll take my advice.
I know what's good for me. The 2 million on your head. Your threats don't scare me, you old prune.
The incompetence you have shown here is inexcusable. The golem I have given you is now a twisted wreckage. Your punishment will be severe.
No, please wait. I'll...
What, may I ask, was that?
doing here? You're not lost again, are you?
Hey, listen, I am not lost. I was just out exploring. After you left me totally vulnerable and alone in the tree, which wasn't very cool at all, I decided to set out on my own quest. It's something every man has to do for himself.
But...
Well, I got this far, all by myself, you know, but the exit to this cave is, sort of being blocked right now by a big rock. That's just a small crimp in my master plan, though.
And how do you expect to get past?
Hey, don't worry. I don't want or even need anything from you. With this tinfoil, paperclip, used gum, and bat droppings, I've crafted a bomb that's sure to blow this blockage to bits. Kids, don't try this at home. This bomb is being detonated under controlled conditions with no parental supervision. Assuming you could find the bat droppings, attempting to duplicate this feat in the real world could result in serious eye damage, or one heck of a stinky mess.
What are you doing, you idiot? You could have brought the whole cave down on us! Don't walk, flea brain, run! You're going to be crushed!
I'm scared! I don't want to die! Please, you gotta help me!
Look out! Great job, numbskull! Your little homemade plan backfired, and now you're trapped.
Woo-hoo-hoo! What a smell! Those bat droppings sure pack a mean punch. They almost killed us!
Are you completely retarded? Don't you know we could have been killed?
Hey! Why are you calling me retarded?
And what else do you expect me to do?
Well, you could find a way to get me out of here.
Oh, sure. Now you want my help. Well, I guess I'm forced to help you because I need to get past your little landslide. But don't get the idea that we're buds now, Mr. Slick.
Please, wait! Don't run away! I won't hurt you! There's been an accident. A boy has been trapped in a cave-in. I'm trying to find someone to help me free him. Please, sir, can you help?
If he was the one using bombs in our cave, he deserves to be buried! I say, let him rot!
I'm sorry, Slick. I'm trying to get help, but I just can't seem to find any. The only thing I saw was a blue winged creature, but it ran from me. I chased it to a big wall, but it jumped over, and it lost me.
Holy cow, is that all that's holding you back? Sheesh, why didn't you say something sooner? I'm sure you could blow that wall to pieces with one of Slicky's Super Deluxe bombs. Here, I'll push one through this crack.
But do you think that blowing the wall to bits is really to our advantage, Mr. Slick?
Well, since you seem a little short in the idea department, just take the bomb and try it. I know it's gonna work. Even you can't blow it with this bomb. Come on, hurry up! I think I'm running out of air. If you can get me out of this mess, I'd even kiss ya. Man, do you think you could have taken any longer? Grandma Slicky could have dug me out with a spoon by this time. But I'll take a hammer over a spoon any day. See?
that little runt.
sound like a god creature. Can't you fly back up the shaft?
It's too narrow, and I can't fly that high. Besides, two friends are trapped here with me. Bony Rebler is holding them captive. Please bring help. We're scared.
My, it certainly is a long way down there. Don't worry, I'll go for help.
I'm afraid it is possible. He was apparently pushed down a very deep hole. It's so steep and narrow that he and his friends can't fly out.
I'm sure I could get them out if I was there, but I can't leave the village now because we're guarding against monsters. Miss, you look like a seasoned warrior. Can't you help us out?
Well, I am very experienced. But I'm a bounty hunter, not the volunteer fire department. I don't do jobs like that just for kicks.
Well, if you want to put a price on life, all right, here's the deal. They're probably stuck in a hole leading to the lair of Bony Rubbler. But if you rescue them, you can take the huge treasure he's guarding.
Really? Treasures? So, all I have to do is beat this Rubbler guy, huh?
Don't forget, you have to rescue my friend first.
No problem. Consider it done.
Oh, you have no idea how good your pasty white face looks to me right now. My friends are still down there in Bony Rubbler's prison. Can you help them too? We were beginning to think we'd be in here forever. Oh, thank you.
Think nothing of it. Now then, where's the treasure?
Treasure? What treasure? What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what treasure? You better not mess with my head. It's not a pretty sight.
Thunderation. Don't get mad. We'll find some treasure to give you. Just come on down to our village.
Bet on it, bub. And hey, I won't take any fish in trade. Got that? Your ladder and my handiwork, everyone's back safe and sound.
Sorry I told you the Rubbler was guarding a big treasure, but you wouldn't have gone if I hadn't told you that. As an apology, God will give you a good thing. Go across the lake and raid our treasure house. Go, 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 ga!
Well, treasure always makes it easier to forgive. I suppose I can accept your apology. This time. Say, you can help me in another way. I want to get to the other side of these caves. Can you tell me how to get through?
Know the way? Gah, of course God knows the way. You must enter the big door in the Cave of Wind. We keep the door locked always, but the key's in our treasure house. Take, gah.
Hey, kid, ask me anything. I am totally in the know.
Say, have you heard anything about a magician named Muttonhead? He used to be my teacher.
Yo, blowout pot Muttonhead? Ah, that bum. He can hardly cast a decent spell these days. In fact, some of the villagers say he's the rat that revived Garadas. But we gotta capture that arrogant jerk.
You've captured my teacher? Oh, this news is too good for words. If I might ask, where is he being held?
Why would you want to see him? He's loony, insane. Oh well, no matter. None of God's business. He's held at the top of these caves.
sucker.
Hey! You were that funny Boomba hunter I saw from the woods!
I'll show you Boomba hunting, you ugly little runt.
You stupid! Mutton ahead! He's my boss!
Muttonhead's your boss?
Hey! Do you sometimes hear the words but have trouble understanding? Yes! He's my boss! I'm gonna talk to you no more. I'm gonna make you run back to your mom and cry.
We'll see about that, pesto breath.
Hey! You're a pain in my neck!
Oh my, he certainly is a chatty pest. Well, let him babble away. I'll just take his body along for the bounty.
Don't think so much, Boomba hunter. My head is worth nothing, and my body, she's out of here.
Ah, well, I thought it was too good to be true.
Gratis is big. Gratis is scary. Ouch, 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 yeah.
Gratis?
Didn't you know? He's a giant monster that lives on Panic Peak but sleeps eternally. If Gratis awakes, God Cave will be wrecked. All gone. Gone. A magic man tried to wake Gratis, but God will never, never allow that to happen.
Strange to see you down here. Can God help?
I heard that you had captured Muttonhead. Say, where'd you take him?
God cannot tell. Big secret. Bad man. He tried to wake the sleeping giant. Are you a friend of his?
Friend? Who, me? How stupid do I look? I'm just after the huge bounty on his head. Get it?
Well, I still can't help you. He's too dangerous.
If it isn't my slippery old pal Muttonhead. I told you I'd catch up to you sooner or later, and here I am.
Say, you're that nice little girl I met the other day, aren't you, sweetie? I was offered a big reward to guard these caves for a very mysterious man. And well, seeing how I've got a price on my head, well, it seemed like a great place to hide out. But I guess I really underestimated the power and the resolve of these pesky flying blobs. They learned of my plans for the area and, well, they got kind of angry. Squat fools, they trapped me in my sleep.
Guess you weren't as smart as you thought.
But they underestimate me. Only I control Gratis. I'll crush them when I get out of here.
Uh-oh, no doubt about it. He's lost it. Big time.
This is the fool that caused Garadas to awaken. You know him, don't you? Tell, Gaw.
Huh?
Your friend has awakened Garadas from his sleep. You must pay for his stupid actions.
My friend? Awakened? Gaw, what are you talking about?
This fool! Gah!
Hi, guess what? And I know this is gonna make your day. I blew it again! Well, you see, there was this weird door in the cave, and I kind of thought that there was, well, treasure on the other side of it, you know? So I just blew the door off its hinges and, well, kind of woke up this giant. We're talking king size here, and he was pretty mad. So I just, ran. Then I tell Squirty here about it, and he goes ballistic on me. I mean, jeez. But he calmed right down once I told him my old pal Mayo would take care of our little monster problem. No sweat. And hey, I know you can do it, Maylee.
Come on, win one for the slickster.
Why, you little... Do you know what you did this time? You're a disaster factory! This is a really big problem, Pea-Brain!
You have to try to stop Garadas, Mayo. It's our only hope. Destroy him, and you can have Muttonhead. I promise. But that's only if you destroy him completely. In fact, I'll sweeten the deal. If you succeed, I'll follow you anywhere.
Hey, make way for the Melanator.
Just get out of my hair, okay?
Well, you don't have to be mean about it. Sheesh. I was just trying to show my support, that's all.
Well, you can just practice your cheers while I go clean up your mess.
I knew you had it in you. I kind of have a sense about these things, you know. It runs in the family.
God didn't think you had a chance. God promised to give you Muttonhead if you won. God will deliver. Now, I'll help you on your quest. Yes, 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 God.
Okay, but wait a minute. Oh, Slicky. Yoo-hoo. My hammer. Remember? The one you snatched out of my hands? Hand it over.
Hey, that was a gift, remember?
It most certainly was not, you tweezerhead. I need that hammer to get to Muttonhead. Now give it to me.
Well, you could ask a little nicer. But as thanks for all the help you've given me, and I'm not sure that I needed it, I'd like to present this hammer to you as a gift.
Gift? Gift? Okay, buddy, just cut the crap and give me back my hammer.
Oh no, Bountyville. Who could have done this? Certainly not an ordinary gang.
It is a mystery, but the people who could explain it are gone.
All gone.
This place is gutted. It would take an army to do this. But who were they?
Muttonhead, I know you're involved in this somehow, so come clean. What happened?
This destruction is just a small demonstration of my new power!
Get a grip. You're strong, but you don't have that much power.
Wait, I think I'm putting this together. I bet this has something to do with that Kaiser fellow, and the legend of the one called the Overlord.
Well, you guessed right. Give that boy a shiny gold star.
Tato, who is this Overlord anyway?
It's from the legend of the ancient wars. The Overlord was leader of a powerful trio of beings who tried to conquer our world. They were stopped by an elf, a dwarf, and a warrior, then banished from our dimension with the Black Seal.
If that's true, we have trouble. In Garcade, Prunehead was shouting. He bragged about breaking a black seal to bring bad spooks.
Is that true?
You don't have a clue. I planned the whole thing. The Overlord's back and he owes me a big favor.
Well, I could arrange for you to join him. Get the point?
Ah, please! I'm just a weak and powerless old man. Didn't your mother ever teach you to show a little respect for your elders?
Well, since you can't shield us from the Overlord's power, we might as well send you back to him.
Oh, you can't send me back to him. He'd mock my failure to stop you, then kill me.
Well, I could spare you the humiliation by killing you now.
Wait, Mail! Although he doesn't deserve it, please give him another chance.
All right, Tat, you got it. Just one more chance.
Thank you. Your kindness will be repaid someday. Now then, since the seal has been broken, it seems we must learn how to reactivate it. Legend speaks of it being crafted by a dwarf.
But, do you think he's still alive?
If he is alive, he'd be at the sanctuary in the old mines.
Well then, looks like that's where we're headed. The mines.
But Mail, I thought you...
Hey, don't get me wrong here, Tatters. I'm not doing this to save the world. Anyone who's known as the Overlord is bound to have tons of treasure. I bet it makes the reward for Muttonhead look like pocket change. And who knows, Tat? I might even be persuaded to share a little bit of it with you. So let's get this show on the road.
Great! Just lead the way, Mail.
Oh, you spineless weasel! I taught you everything you know, and now you're going to let me rot in this cage while you prance around the land playing magic, boy? You can't do this to me!
I'm terribly sorry, Master, but we must stop what you have started before it's too late.
But I'll starve to death!
Hey, don't worry. Alive or dead, I'll still get my 2 mil. We'll be back when the seal's restored. See you later, Smarty.
I'm so happy you got my ring back. As a small token of my gratitude, please accept this simple elixir.
This is not at all what I expected. Hey, mister, this is the old dwarf mine, isn't it?
Да, конечно. Sure, this is the place all right, but there is hardly anything left of the little fellows, except the old sanctuary at the top. Hey, what's a nice kid like you doing in this place? Looking for a party?
Well, actually, I'm looking for a very old dwarf. You haven't seen one recently, have you?
Couldn't say. See, I've only been here a few days myself. Ask some of the other miners. Maybe they know.
Okay, I'll give that a shot. I didn't expect to find him easily. Thanks anyway, bud. Hey there. Have you seen an old dwarf lately?
Mumbles hasn't been down here in a long time. Try the sanctuary at the top of the mine.
I just know it's here. I can smell it. Come on, Gold. Show your stuff.
Hey there. Have you seen an old dwarf lately?
Dwarves? Oh, dwarves! One of them little buggers comes down here every once in a while selling tools. They're good with tools and gadgets, them dwarves.
Yes, but where does he live?
Don't know, don't care. I'm a digging for gold, Junior, and I ain't going home to my woman until I find some. Gold, gold, gold! Talk to Papa. Tell him how to find you.
Right. Thanks anyway. Hey there. Have you seen an old dwarf lately?
A dwarf? Oh, you mean a dwarf? Is he a short, fat guy with a long, white beard?
Yes, that sounds like him. Do you know him?
Nope, never heard of him. All dwarves are short, fat guys with long, white beards. I have heard they work their craft inside the sanctuary. Up at the top of the mine, though.
Well, at least that's something to go on. Thanks anyway.
Don't mention it. I'm glad to help. Say, if you do come across any of those dwarf trinkets, send them my way. They're worth a king's ransom.
Hello there. You scared me. It's rare to have visitors these days.
Well, you gave me a start, too. I thought you were another monster.
Well, I'm sorry. My name's Glug. I'm a dwarf artisan.
Really? How can you be a dwarf? I thought they were all short guys with long beards.
That's the old look. Nowadays, pretty much anything goes. Some of the dwarves don't like it, but I suppose their ways of thinking will eventually die out.
Well, that was fun. A little dwarf 101, I guess.
Say, you're obviously an elf. Do you know my friend? His name is Slick from the Elfwoods village. Ever heard of him?
Slick?
Oh, so you do know him. That guy's the greatest.
This guy's a complete dork. I can't believe he likes Slick. Yeah, the greatest boob I've ever had the misfortune of getting involved with.
Well, maybe you caught him on an off day. He's really very nice. Anyway, enough chit-chat. What can I do for you?
Well, have you heard anything about a special seal crafted by a dwarf?
Sure, I know about the legend of the Black Seal. I've read about it on the Great Stone Wall. I once asked Mumbles to explain it to me, but he's not too keen on talk, so all I know is what I've seen on the wall. And I'm afraid that's not much.
Where do you think you're going?
What? I'm just passing through here. Who are you, Bub?
We're members of the Rebel Army. What of it?
Well, isn't that special? Listen, I've got no beef with you, so why don't you just step aside and let me through, Buster?
This passage is off limits to commoners, so get lost! What's that? The guards won't let you pass? Well, shoot. Don't worry about them. They're as harmless as a couple of tree frogs.
But I have to get past that door. Do you know of a way to get around them? A bribe, maybe?
Well, there might be one way. No, I don't really remember too good. I've got to keep digging for gold so I can go home. Now, if and I had some gold bars, my life would be so much easier. I might just remember something. my memory just cleared up. The rebel army leader is named Benoodalo, or something. Anyway, he likes dwarf handiwork. Try bringing a piece to the guards. I just bet it gets you in. Now, listen up. The rebel army's head guy has a real eye for dwarf craftsmanship. If you brought him one of them trinkets, well, I just bet he'd let you through. Well, you're on your own now. Nice doing business with you, but I've got to get back to my wife in Tree Sun Village.
Hi there. What brings you back here so soon?
With a cute guy like you, how can I stay away? Say, Glug, I was admiring your work, and well, I got to thinking, do you suppose you could make a trinket for little old Mayo?
A trinket? Oh, you mean one of my skilled artisan creations. I'd be happy to give you one. But why do you want one of those?
Well, the rebel army is blocking the way through the mine, but their leader is very fond of dwarf craftsmanship, so I was gonna trade him a trinket for passage through the mine. Get it?
Well, you're a good friend of Slick's, and those are hard to find. Okay, I'll give you one. Here, take this one. It's one of my very favorite pieces.
Really? Oh, Glug, you're the greatest! I won't forget this.
Be very careful with that trinket, though. All dwarf crafts have hidden powers.
myself clear. You can't pass through here.
Oh, I know that. I brought a gift for your leader. See? But I have to give it to him personally.
All right, then. Wait right here.
The chief wants to see you right away. Get in there.
Ooh, very nice. Thank you, peasant, for your oh-so-humble gift. By the way, I'm Claverding Clocksnipper, Lethal Biffle Poopy Woof and Von Venancio, Kraken Licked Ratchet Face the 14th, feudal lord of Oderberg. But you can call me Lord Venancio.
How do you say that without biting your tongue?
Oh, enough about me. Too much Venancio could be bad for your health. Say, you seem to be one who expects big rewards for good work. I was thinking, do you want to join our cause?
Sorry, but I'm really busy right now.
Oh, that's such a shame. We could have used your help recovering the treasure.
Treasure? Did you say treasure?
Yes, you see, we of the rebel army are planning a heist of about 3 tons of gold. In fact, there's a strategy meeting taking place very soon. Too bad you can't make it.
3 tons? Tons? Woohoo! Sign me up!
Ah, my eager new friend. Right this way. The meeting room is just ahead. We'd better hurry.
I don't see anyone here. What are you talking about? What's going on here, Venancio? If that is your name.
You are so gullible. There's a reward of 3 million gold on your little group's heads. Or didn't you